learn, teach, learn. I want you to remember that. Learn, teach, learn. We all know this, that when we teach something, we learn twice. There's an old saying that goes, to teach is to learn twice over. So I want you guys to understand this as a leader. One, if you want to understand something better, teach it to your team. If you have a team, whether you have team leaders, whatever it may be, always make sure you're teaching them something. Don't just wing it. Take the time to understand it. If you're needing to understand something, schedule it a month out, a meeting a month out, 2 weeks out, however long it takes you, learn about it, and then teach it. And I guarantee you, you'll learn it 100 times better than if you just study something on your own and it's very informal. Now, when it comes to those that you lead, make sure that they're teaching, because that's how they learn. We can learn, teach, learn with each other constantly. It isn't just about you being the leader and you're the one that teaches. That's narcissistic. Don't do that. Everybody should be taking turns teaching. And whatever it may be, if you have a team and they've got an assigned project, say, hey, I want you to teach it to the rest of us what we can learn from that and what you guys are doing so we understand it. Can you teach us? The marketing team can go to the sales team. Hey, marketing, can you teach us a little bit about sales enablement and how the marketing and sales work together? Can you teach us a little bit about what should happen in the marketing and how sales could do a little bit better? And then the next week, sales is going to talk about that, and they're going to teach everyone about what they need with marketing. You see what I'm saying, how it goes? Accounting department. I need to understand basic accounting. You know what's so funny? Why don't our comptrollers, our accounting department, why aren't they included in decisions that we make? Managers will come and make decisions. They'll have budgets and stuff like that. Why don't we have somebody representing them in our meetings? Why don't we have a conversation with them? Why does it have to be the us versus them, or they're separate and they're doing their own thing, and it's accounts receivable, accounts payable, and that's it, and here's my budget for the year and here's where I'm at. Why don't we have them being creative with us? Why does finance have to be so rigid? Why can't it be creative? Hey, you know what? We were doing this, this, and this. Why are we doing this? Why can't we allow them to ask the question so that they understand it? And then they're going to turn around and say, and I've had this happen so many times, we've been paying this for like a year. What is this? Oh, we really don't need that. Oh, well, the $1,000 a month for 12 months has cost us $12,000. That happens so many times. So have the accounting department come in and say, hey, here's budgets. Here's what it looks like. Marketing team, you're going to get together. The accounting department's going to come in and go over your budget with you. We're going to see exactly every dollar where you're spending. We're going to print it out. And we're going to go through, here's where it is. And the whole team's going to get together. Because the team's going to turn around and be like, holy shit, I didn't know we were spending that much on this, this, and this. Do we really need that? Is that really important? Maybe we could take that funds and shift it over here. And then the accounting department's going to be like, yeah, that's a good idea, yeah. And they're going to see that you're being a good steward of the money that they're having to move and kind of be in control of, if you want to use that word. They're the good stewards of that, and they're seeing you being a good steward of that. And then there's continuity, and so what's going to happen is you're going to have, this is the cool part about learn, teach, learn. You're going to have private conversations. They're going to feel more comfortable because they've been in team meetings, coming up to a team member and being, hey, remember we talked about this in the meeting? Well, I thought about this. Or what do you think about this? Or hey, I just paid this check to this person or this company. What is this for? Those are great questions. Don't get defensive on that. This is somebody seeking to be taught when they're doing that. If they're asking a question, they're being sincere about the question, it's a time to teach. And if they come to you and they want to teach you, then it's a time for you to learn. So everybody has a teach, learn, teach mentality, because we know, and it's called the protege effect. That's what they call this. And it's, you imprint strongly by being a teacher. The material hits you harder than anyone else. And to me, I believe that teaching is the most powerful way to learn anything. especially if you're looking at learning something new or wanting to understand. Understanding is important. Understanding is part of learning. It's that final chapter in learning something is like, oh, I get it. I understand it now. And you as a leader, take advantage of this learn, teach, learn. Find out, where can I implement teaching? Where can I implement this among my teams? How can I get groups of people together so that there's opportunities for them to teach? And then in that moment of teaching, other people begin to ask questions. They begin to share their understanding of it. They begin to see, to gain clarity, to see the bigger picture. Then they have one-on-ones because you're encouraging learn, teach, learn. They begin to have one-on-ones. And then in those moments, they're learning. So the teacher is learning the most. The students are learning. And then the students are going to turn around and teach things. And you're just going to have this big learn, teach, learn that's going on. And you're just going to have massive amounts of clarity. And you're going to have people that are being humble because they're willing to learn. You're going to have people that are taking responsibility because they know they got to teach something in a week or two. And they want to make it clear with everyone. You're going to have handouts or PowerPoints or whatever it is. Just don't go crazy on that stuff. PowerPoints, to me, Jeff Bezos did that. He's like, if we can't put it in a memo, then we don't. I've seen people spend 16 hours on a PowerPoint. And you're like, 16 hours times how much I pay you an hour? Was that PowerPoint worth it? No. So sometimes in these meetings, you can say, no PowerPoints, or maybe 3 slides at the most, or 5 slides at the most. But don't go any more than that, I'm telling you. Handouts are good. Word docs with an outline, because that's really basic. Doesn't take too long. It may take somebody 30 minutes to an hour at most to make a little small 1-page outline. That's what I like, a 1-page outline. No graphics, none of that. Don't get the marketing team involved, the graphic designers. Just simple words and they can use their favorite font. Say, hey, use your favorite font. But it's just a 1-page outline, and this is what you're going over today for 10, 15, 20 minutes at the most. And then have a Q&A. Q&A, guys, always have a Q&A. Q&As are where you're going to learn the most. People will be like, hey, you said this, and I'm looking at the outline, and you said this and this, and I thought of this, and this. Now, that person's teaching sitting there. And now everybody can learn. You could say, well, can you clarify that a little bit more? Because you're facilitating. I understand what you're saying about this, and this, but what do you mean about this? And then everybody gets to learn again. See how this teach, learn, teach, go? And I encourage you guys, develop this. Work on this. Let people take the time to teach each other. It's so valuable. It's so rare that we get together. We have meetings, but these meetings are just somebody presenting. There's no collaboration. There's no talk across the table. It's just blah, 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 or the leader talking 80% of the time when the group should be talking 80% of the time and the leader should be talking 20. I say that all the time because no one gets it. I go into meetings all the time and the leader is talking 80% of the time. You are a coach. You are to facilitate. A coach sits on the sidelines and runs the plays. Who does the work? The team. That's your responsibility, guys. How do you run plays? By learning. What's the best thing to do? Take your leaders, let them teach. Not you have to teach everything. Let them teach. Teach, learn, teach. Everybody's teaching. Everybody's learning. You're going to have an amazing organization that is, from top down, having tremendous amounts of humility.
Thank you for joining us on the Albuquerque Business Podcast. And thanks to our sponsor, RigbyDigital.com. Make sure to subscribe and share. And go to abqpodcast.com. Get show notes, resources, and links to everything we talked about today to help you navigate your journey as an entrepreneur and business owner.